So for those of you who has been tuning into the channel knows that I've been wearing this pair of shoes from this company, Arden Teal. I live in Malaysia and finding a good pair of quality leather shoes is a difficult one considering our currency is... Yeah, you get the picture. And I know some of you might be thinking, oh, there's tons of fashion brands out there, but for the price you're paying, it's 100% not worth it. Take it from me, I've purchased tons of shoes, high ends to low ones. They're uncomfortable, their material sucks, and they're way too expensive. So I started researching day and night, week after week, and I finally stumbled upon Arden Teal, a Singaporean company with a decent looking website. Not too many video reviews online, but I decided to give them a go because of their advertised use of full grain leather was definitely impossible to beat at the price point. So doing what every influencer would do, I wrote to Arden Teal and their co-founder Mabir responded. And I got two pairs, their double bunk strap and their tassel loafer. And a massive disclaimer here, I did not receive anything for free and I'm not paid to say any of this. I did however get a discount for my first pair and obviously think about you guys as well. I did manage to get a 10% discount code for you guys, which I'll share at the end of the video only if it meets the Dapper Vault standard, so watch till the end. And I hope by the end of this video I can end my search for a good quality pair of leather shoes, and hopefully so do you. So in today's review, I'm going to cover three main points. Point number one, their quality, which I'm going to cover the upper, the lining, the outsoles, the construction, and the stitching. Point number two, an obvious one, the price, because everyone wants a good deal. And point number three, fit and comfort. And as always, I'm going to give each of these points a score out of 10, and I'm going to wrap up the score at the end of this video. Alright, quality. Let's start with the materials used on the upper, which is the upper part of the shoes that covers our feet, which is attached to the sole. And before I get into it, I just want to quickly share one great sign during my unboxing video, the smell of the leather, which is incredibly pleasing and something you don't find with synthetic leather. So Arden Teal claims to use Argentinian calfskin leather, which is a full grain leather. And for those of you who are wondering, full grain leather, yay or nay? Full grain leather, massive thumbs up. You see, full grain leather is the highest quality leather you can find, and it is the outer layer of the hide which has not been sanded or buffed during the tanning process to remove any imperfections. And this actually makes the shoe a lot tougher and more durable compared to other grades of leather. And sadly for me, I purchased this shoe a couple of years back which was made out of synthetic leather, and all it took for this peel to happen was a light tap on the wall. Yeah. And not surprising, a lot of popular brands are using this crap material while charging you a bomb for it. So before buying any pair of leather shoes, educate yourself, ask the right questions, and always go for higher quality leather. Oh, and another thing about full grain leather is the uniqueness. Since the tanning process doesn't remove any imperfections, you'll find that no two products are the same. And with higher quality leather, you're going to see a patina forming over time, which gives the product a deeper, richer color to it, which actually gives it a much better appearance. So after inspecting both pairs of shoes more closely, you can definitely see the imperfections here, which is a good sign that it is actually made out of full grain leather. So for the uppers, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Moving on with the quality of the lining, which is the materials used inside the shoe that comes in contact with the entire foot, essentially the sides, the top, and the heel. And the purpose of the lining is to cover the inseams of the shoes, which actually increases their longevity and of course comfort. So Arden Teal didn't state what materials are used for their lining, all it says is leather lined. So what I did is I reached out to their co-founder Mabir, and he's mentioned that their shoes are calfskin lined and no pigskin is used at all. Based on how it looks and my personal opinion, it does look like a genuine leather that's used with their lining, which is the lowest quality leather used, which makes sense because their shoes are incredibly competitive in price and they do need to find a way to reduce their costs. So overall for the lining, I'll give them a 7 out of 10. Moving on to the next for quality, the outsoles, which is this part of the shoe. Most of their shoes uses an anti-slip rubber outsole, which is expected for the price point. However, they also offer a different type of outsole, which I'll cover more in the next point. So for the price, the outsole used are decent enough, and their anti-slip outsole really gives the shoe a really nice grip. So for the outsoles, I'll give Arden Teal a 8 out of 10. Moving on to the construction. Most of their shoes are using the cemented construction, and it is the most common construction at this price point. Cemented essentially means that the shoes alone are held together by glue. And don't get me wrong though, cemented construction nowadays really helps to drive the overall price down, and nowadays the industrial glues used in the process is so well developed that it really creates a super strong bond. Take these shoes I have for example. 6 years old, full grain leather, cemented construction, and it's still holding its own. So like I said earlier, Arden Teal also offers some of their collection with Blake stitching construction at a higher price point, which I personally prefer over the Goodyear welt because there's no need for a welt, which results in a sleeker, more elegant profile. Long story short, the Blake stitch construction allows resoling when the outsoles are worn out or damaged. Think of it like replacing your wheels on your car when it goes bust. Another plus point here, if you decide to opt for their Blake stitching construction collection, is their shoes will automatically come with full grain leather outsoles, which you'll typically only see for shoes at a much higher price point, so I would strongly recommend it. So all in all, I'll give their construction a solid 8 out of 10 for providing their consumers the option depending on budget preference. Last but not the least for the quality is the stitching. Arden Teal definitely did a good job on their uppers. You can see everything is nicely stitched with a smooth and tight seam, which is usually a sign of quality. However, the quality of stitch in the lining sees a slight drop in quality. And as you can see, the threads used in the lining is much thinner, which I worry may come loose if the threads ever break in the long run. So for stitching, I'll give them a 7 out of 10. Alright, moving on to the next category, the big one, price. Alright, let's talk numbers. I picked up 2 pairs of Arden Teals. The first walnut double monk strap with the Blake stitch construction, costing me about $170, while the black tassel loafer approximately $110. Now let's put this into perspective. Is it worth it? For me, absolutely. Finding a pair of full grain leather shoes for $110 is like finding a needle in a haystack these days. Take this brand for example, I'm not gonna say their name. A pair of shoes may cost about $140, but here's the kicker. They're not going to disclose what kind of materials used on their products, which means what? And 99% of the time it's going to be synthetic leather, and they're expecting us to pay this kind of prices for that crap? Hell no! Now they're double monk straps, which is priced slightly higher at $170, but think about it. Say you wear the shoes consistently for the next 5 years and the outsole decides to die on you. A quick trip to your local cobbler for a $50 sole replacement, you'll get yourself another 5 years. It's all about cost per wear, folks. Gentleman math. So instead of buying a new pair of shoes for another $170, all you need to do is get your soles replaced, and since it's made out of full grain leather, the shoes is going to look better over time. So for the price, it's a no-brainer, a solid 10 out of 10. Alright, last category, fit and comfort. The bread and butter for any good pair of shoes. Arden Teal strikes a balance between a classic and modern look with their shoe lasts, and both pairs I got look stunning on the feet. In terms of comfort, the walnut double monk strap wears like a dream. You know, some leather shoes bites you during the break-in period. I've been wearing this pair of shoes consistently for a month and I did not feel a single bit of pain. And the elastic band at the front of the shoes really make putting on the shoes a breeze. However, their tassel loafer was a bit of a letdown. Despite following the size guide, the loafer in my usual size for the 3 turned out too big, which I had to resort buying an insole just to make them wearable. So while I can live with it, it is definitely disappointing to see a disparity in sizes. So in conclusion, for the fit and comfort, I'm giving them a 7 out of 10. So to conclude, is Arden Teal's worth it? Drumroll please. A definite yes. Here's the breakdown of the overall review, which you can pause here on the screen. Really happy with the pairs I got, especially the double monk strap that fits like a glove, though their tassel loafer definitely needs some work with the sizing. High quality stuff with an incredible price point. And wait, the discount code. Dapper10 for 10% off any purchases from Arden Teal, making it more affordable. Oh, and they also offer free worldwide shipping for purchases above $50, which means you're gonna get free shipping for sure. Anyways, that's it for today's review. Definitely check out Arden Teal and their collection. Links in the description below. And I hope you found this video helpful, and if it did, do me a solid and like, subscribe, and smash the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, stay dapper.